Ever wondered how one man could possibly have 6 wives and still remain unsatisfied? This is the story of Henry VIII, one of the most famous kings in world history, who ruled England from 1509 to 1547. A man of charm, grandeur, and an insatiable desire for power, Henry VIII is as intriguing as he is controversial. Henry VIII was not just a king, he was a force of nature. His larger-than-life personality and relentless pursuit of a male heir would shape England's history in ways that still echo today. Under his reign, England broke away from the Catholic Church, forever changing the religious landscape of the country. But perhaps what makes Henry's story so captivating is his tumultuous love life, a narrative filled with romance, betrayal, and drama. In his quest for a son, Henry would marry 6 times, each wife marking a distinct chapter in his reign and personal life. There was Catherine of Aragon, his first wife, who could not give him the son he so desperately desired. Then came Anne Boleyn, a woman who would forever change the course of English history, but who also met a tragic end. Jane Seymour, the only wife to bear him a son, yet whose life was cut short. Anne of Cleves, who was cast aside in favor of a younger bride, Catherine Howard. Catherine, however, would share a fate similar to Anne Boleyn's. Last but not least, Catherine Parr, who outlived the infamous king. These 6 women were not just wives, they were pawns in a larger game of power and legacy. Each played a vital role in the unfolding drama of Henry's reign, and each left her mark on the annals of history. Now let's delve into the king's heart, exploring each marriage in turn. Prepare to embark on a journey through time, unraveling the intricate tapestry of love, power, and betrayal that is the heart of a king. Catherine of Aragon, the first wife, was more than just a queen, she was a political alliance. The daughter of the formidable monarchs Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, Catherine's marriage to Henry solidified the alliance between England and Spain, 2 of the most powerful nations of the time. Their union, however, was not just a political maneuver. Henry and Catherine shared a genuine affection for each other in the early years of their marriage. Catherine was an educated, pious, and virtuous woman, qualities that were highly admired at the time and were said to have endeared her to Henry, but the strength of their relationship was tested by their inability to produce a male heir. Despite numerous pregnancies throughout their marriage, only 1 child survived infancy, Mary, later known as Mary the First of England. In a time when the continuation of a royal bloodline was of utmost importance, the lack of a male heir was a significant source of anxiety for Henry. The pressure to produce a male heir led Henry to question the legitimacy of his marriage to Catherine. He claimed that their union was cursed, citing a verse from the Bible that states, "If a man marries his brother's wife, it is an act of impurity. He has dishonored his brother. They will be childless." Catherine had previously been married to Henry's older brother Arthur, who died just months after their wedding. This claim, however, served as a convenient excuse for Henry to seek an annulment of his marriage to Catherine. He was already infatuated with Anne Boleyn, a lady-in-waiting at the court, and saw an opportunity to marry her in the hopes of producing a male heir. The annulment of Henry and Catherine's marriage was a complex and contentious issue that had widespread political and religious implications. It resulted in the separation of the Church of England from the Roman Catholic Church, a monumental event in English history. In his quest for a male heir, Henry sought to end his marriage with Catherine, setting a precedent for his future marriages. The story of Catherine of Aragon is a testament to the immense power and far-reaching consequences of a king's heart. Anne Boleyn, the woman who changed the course of English history. She was the fiery, dark-haired beauty who captured the heart of King Henry VIII and ignited a religious revolution that would forever alter the landscape of England. Henry's marriage to Anne Boleyn was nothing short of controversial. As the second wife in the king's parade of 6, Anne was a stark contrast to the devout and dutiful Catherine of Aragon. With her sharp wit and charm, she ensnared the king, leading him to cast aside his first wife and break with the Catholic Church, establishing the Church of England in the process. This seismic shift, known as the English Reformation, was a direct result of their scandalous love affair. But Anne was more than just the catalyst for religious upheaval. She was also the mother of Elizabeth, the future queen. Elizabeth's reign would usher in a golden age of English history, and it's impossible to ignore the influence her mother may have had on the young queen. However, Anne's story is also one of tragedy. Despite her intelligence and influence, she was unable to provide Henry with the son he so desperately desired. False accusations of adultery and treason were brought against her, leading to her arrest and eventual execution. A queen who had once been the darling of the court was beheaded on the orders of her own husband. Anne's life was a whirlwind of passion, power, and ultimately, betrayal. Her relationship with Henry VIII brought about significant religious and political changes, but it also brought about her downfall. It's a tale that continues to captivate us, centuries later. Her story serves as a stark reminder of the precarious nature of power and the ruthlessness of those who seek it. Anne Boleyn climbed to the highest echelons of English society, only to be cast down by the man who had once loved her more than his kingdom. Anne Boleyn's fate was sealed not by her actions, but by the desperation of a king whose heart was as fickle as it was fierce, leaving a trail of broken lives and altered destinies in its wake. Jane Seymour, the quiet queen who gave the king what he most desired. She was the third wife of King Henry VIII and perhaps the one who brought him the most joy, albeit briefly. Unlike the flamboyant and outspoken Anne Boleyn, Jane was known for her gentle and soothing nature, a trait that endeared her to the volatile king. Their union was celebrated with a grand wedding in May of 1536, just days after the execution of Anne Boleyn. Jane's primary role was to give Henry what his previous wives could not, a male heir, and she did just that. On October 12, 1537, Jane gave birth to a son, Edward, an event that led to great jubilation throughout the realm. But this joy was short-lived. Jane's health deteriorated rapidly after the birth of Edward. She died on October 24th, a mere 12 days after becoming a mother. Her death was a devastating blow to Henry, who was said to have been deeply affected by the loss of his queen. Despite her short tenure as queen, Jane's influence on Henry was profound. She was the peacemaker, often intervening to reconcile Henry with his eldest daughter, Mary. Additionally, she was the only one of Henry's wives to receive a queen's funeral, and Henry himself was later buried next to her, a testament to her perceived importance to him. Jane's legacy, however, lies primarily in her son Edward. Though his reign was brief and marred by illness, Edward's succession marked the continuation of the Tudor dynasty. It was the fulfillment of Henry's most cherished desire, a desire that had driven him to alter the course of English history. Jane Seymour may not have had the political acumen of Catherine of Aragon or the fiery spirit of Anne Boleyn, but she provided Henry with the one thing he desired above all else: a son. In doing so, she secured her place in the annals of history. Jane Seymour, the only wife to provide a male heir, died leaving a bereft king and a vulnerable infant son. The final three wives, a tale of political convenience, youthful indiscretion, and lasting companionship. As Henry's reign continued, his marriages began to reflect less of passion and more of political strategy. His fourth wife was Anne of Cleves, a German princess. This union was purely political, designed to secure an alliance with her brother, the Duke of Cleves, amid the rising tensions of European power politics. But the marriage was doomed from the start. Henry found Anne physically unattractive, and their relationship lacked any semblance of warmth or affection. After just 6 months, the marriage was annulled on the grounds of non-consummation. Next came Catherine Howard, a young, vivacious woman who brought a spark of youth back into Henry's life. She was only 17 when they married, while Henry was nearly 50. Her youthful energy and beauty captivated him, but her indiscretions led to her downfall. Accused of adultery, Catherine was executed, becoming the second of Henry's wives to meet such a tragic end. Her death marked a dark period in Henry's life, filled with paranoia and fear of betrayal. Finally, there was Catherine Parr, Henry's sixth and last wife. A twice-widowed woman of 31, Catherine was mature, intelligent, and patient, qualities that Henry now found desirable. She was a caring companion to the aging king, tending to his health and offering him comfort in his final years. Catherine was also instrumental in reconciling Henry with his estranged daughters, Mary and Elizabeth, and ensuring that they were reinstated in the line of succession. Each of these marriages had a significant impact on Henry and England. The union with Anne of Cleves, although short-lived, helped to solidify England's position in the complex landscape of European politics. Catherine Howard's execution, on the other hand, deepened Henry's mistrust and paranoia, leading to a reign of fear and suspicion. And Catherine Parr, with her wisdom and compassion, helped to heal some of the wounds left by these tumultuous years, paving the way for a smoother transition of power after Henry's death. These final three marriages reveal a king grappling with his aging body, his political needs, and his desire for companionship. They show a man who, despite his power and influence, was deeply human, with all the flaws and vulnerabilities that come with it. Henry's final three marriages reflect a king grappling with his aging body, his political needs, and his desire for companionship. Henry VIII, a king remembered not for his reign but for his wives. The heart of this king, Henry VIII, was a complex labyrinth of passion, desire, and desperation. His love life was not a simple tale of romance but a stirring saga that unfolded over the span of his reign, leaving indelible marks on the canvas of English history. Henry's first wife, Catherine of Aragon, was a symbol of his youthful gallantry and political ambition. Their marriage, although initially filled with love and respect, couldn't withstand the test of time in the absence of a male heir. This marked the beginning of Henry's infamous journey through matrimony. Anne Boleyn, his second wife, was the embodiment of Henry's relentless pursuit of desire. Their love story was a whirlwind of passion, scandal, and ultimately tragedy. Their union, which resulted in the birth of the future Queen Elizabeth I, was also the catalyst for England's break with the Catholic Church, a monumental shift in the religious landscape of the nation. Jane Seymour, his third wife, gave Henry what he most desired, a son, Edward. Her untimely death left a void in Henry's heart, but her legacy lived on through their child, who would later ascend to the throne. His subsequent marriages to Anne of Cleves, Catherine Howard, and Catherine Parr were marked by political maneuverings, scandal, and survival. Each wife, in her own way, influenced Henry and his rule, shaping the course of English history. In the grand tapestry of his reign, Henry VIII's personal life was a tumultuous journey of passion, desperation, and tragedy. His 6 marriages were not mere episodes of romance but significant events that impacted the political, religious, and social fabric of the nation. They were a testament to his relentless pursuit of love, power, and a male heir. The legacy of Henry VIII's heart is a fascinating tale that transcends the man and the king, forever etching his name into the annals of history. Henry VIII's love life was a tumultuous journey of passion, desperation, and tragedy, forever etching his name into the annals of history.